Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're diving into a book called Financial Freedom.
Okay.
It's a book that kind of throws out that traditional, work for decades before you even think about
Yeah.
retirement narrative.
Yeah.
And it promises a path to financial freedom, maybe even early retirement.
Interesting.
Sounds pretty intriguing, right?
Yeah.
I'm excited to unpack this with James Smith. He's got some fascinating insights on this topic.
Well, when you look at the current financial landscape, I mean, it can be pretty daunting.
Yeah.
Like, did you know that nearly half of Americans over 55 have less than $10,000 saved for retirement?
Wow, that's a pretty sobering statistic.
Yeah.
Okay, so financial freedom, this book we're talking about, what's the big idea? What's the main takeaway here?
Well, right off the bat, like the book kind of just throws out the whole idea that financial freedom has to be about deprivation,
Right.
living like a minimalist monk or something. It's more about optimization. It's more about finding ways to live a life that you love without being chained to a 9 to 5.
So it's not about giving up everything. It's about being smarter with your choices.
Exactly.
I like that.
And the book really digs into this whole relationship between money and time.
Yeah.
It challenges this assumption that to make more money, you have to sacrifice more time.
Yeah, that's a huge paradigm shift.
Yeah.
I think most people believe that's just the way it is, right?
Yeah.
You work more, you earn more, but you have less time for everything else.
Right. But this book's like, hold on a second, there might be another way.
Okay, I'm hooked. So how does financial freedom suggest we actually achieve this?
It all starts with figuring out what the book calls your number.
Your number.
Yeah. Your number is the amount of money you actually need to be financially free, but it's based on your own lifestyle and your own goals.
Okay.
So no two people will have the same number.
So it's not some generic one-size-fits-all figure.
Definitely not. It's tailored to you. And this is where it gets really interesting. The book argues that your number can actually be significantly lower if you retire earlier in life.
Wait, wouldn't retiring earlier mean you would need more money to last longer? You need a bigger number, right?
You would think, but the book highlights what it calls the magic of compounding.
Okay.
Basically, the earlier you invest, the more time your money has to grow exponentially.
Right.
Even if you retire young, those investments are still working for you,
Okay.
potentially covering your expenses for decades to come.
So retiring early isn't about having a huge pile of cash right now.
Right.
It's about investing smartly and letting that money grow over time.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
And to illustrate this even further, the book references something called the Trinity Study and the 4% Rule.
Have you heard of that?
Yeah, vaguely. I think it has something to do with how much you can safely withdraw from your retirement savings.
Right. The Trinity study basically looked at historical stock market data
Okay.
to see how much you could safely withdraw each year without running out of money.
Right. They found that a 4% withdrawal rate, adjusted for inflation, had a really high chance of success for at least 30 years of retirement.
Okay, so if I had, let's say, $2 million saved and I followed the 4% rule, I could take out $80,000 a year and my money should last.
That's the general idea. The book actually simplifies it even further,
Okay.
suggesting you use a multiplier of 25 times your expected annual expenses
Okay,
to figure out your number.
got it.
So if you need $60,000 a year to live comfortably, your target would be $1,500,000.
Okay, that makes it a lot easier to visualize. But what about all those unexpected costs that life throws our way?
Right, and that's why the book really emphasizes having a solid emergency fund.
Okay.
6 months to a year of living expenses tucked away.
Okay.
It's like a safety net.
All right, so we've got our number, we understand compounding, and we've got an emergency fund. Now what? How do we get to that magic number in the first place?
So the book lays out a 7-step plan. But before even diving into that, it challenges some of those traditional narratives we were talking about earlier. The whole work till you're 65 thing.
Yeah, I'm ready to break free from that old school thinking. What's the book's take?
Well, it uses real stories, like a guy named Jim who retired at 49,
Wow.
to show that early retirement is actually possible.
Okay.
Have you ever questioned that traditional narrative yourself?
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure. I'm sure most people have at some point. You only get one life, and spending it all working just doesn't seem. I don't know, right? But is retiring early really possible for, the average person?
That's the question the book tackles head on. It even references the top 5 regrets of the dying,
Okay.
where the number 1 regret was, I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me.
Wow, that's powerful. Makes you reevaluate your priorities, right?
Definitely. And that ties in perfectly with the first step in the book's plan,
Okay.
which is hacking your 9 to 5.
Hacking my 9 to 5. Sounds a bit rebellious. What does that even mean?
It's not about doing anything illegal or unethical. Don't worry.
Okay, good.
It's about maximizing your current job's earning potential.
Okay.
The book talks about negotiating a raise, making the most of benefits, especially remote work options if they're available, and constantly upskilling.
Got it.
So you become more valuable to your employer.
So even if I don't love my current job, I can still use it strategically to build my financial foundation.
Exactly. It's a stepping stone,
Right.
not a life sentence. And that leads us to step 2, generating income outside of your day job.
Ah, the side hustle.
Yes.
Everyone's talking about side hustles these days,
Yeah.
but honestly, they can feel a bit overwhelming.
I know what you mean. But financial freedom makes a really strong case for them. It argues that side hustles are crucial for creating diverse income streams
Okay.
and accelerating your path to, well, financial freedom.
I get the concept, but the thought of adding another job on top of my already busy life just, I don't know, makes me tired. Does the book offer any advice on how to make it less overwhelming?
Well, that's where financial freedom gets really practical. It shares inspiring stories.
Right.
Like there's a guy named Matt. He's a graphic designer who built a dog walking business.
Okay.
That brings in over $200,000 a year.
Okay, I'm listening. $200,000 from dog walking. Maybe side hustles aren't so bad after all. But there are so many options out there. How do you even begin to pick the right one?
Well, the book has some solid advice on that. It emphasizes the importance of identifying high-demand opportunities,
Okay.
like what needs are out there that you can fill. It also offers guidance on pricing your services and scaling your side hustle.
Oh.
So you're not just trading hours for dollars,
Yeah.
but you're actually building something sustainable.
So it's not just about picking any random side hustle.
Right.
It's about being strategic about it.
Exactly.
It sounds like this book really emphasizes making informed decisions.
Absolutely. And once you've got those 2 income streams flowing, your optimized 9 to 5 and your profitable side hustle, the next step is to put that money to work through investing.
This is where it all comes together, right? Investing for the long haul. I know this is a key element of building wealth, but it can be really intimidating for people who aren't, finance experts.
I understand that feeling. But financial freedom really demystifies the world of investing. It highlights that investing is like the ultimate passive income stream.
Okay.
It's the way the wealthy build and maintain their wealth. And it comes back to that compounding power we talked about earlier.
Right.
Starting early and letting those investments grow over time.
Okay, I'm seeing a recurring theme here.
Yeah.
Start early, be consistent, let compounding work its magic.
You're catching on. Financial freedom recommends a balanced approach to investing,
Okay.
including stocks, bonds, and even real estate.
Mhm.
It also gets into the nitty-gritty of tax-advantaged accounts like 401ks and IRAs.
That's helpful.
Yeah.
A lot of people, myself included, get a little lost with all the different investment options and tax implications.
It can definitely feel like a maze, but the book does a great job of breaking down these concepts, in a way that's easy to understand. It even covers target asset allocation and rebalancing,
Okay.
which is basically adjusting your portfolio as you get closer to your financial goals.
So investing isn't something you just set and forget. You need to actively manage it.
To some extent, yeah. But it doesn't have to be a full-time job. Financial freedom provides a framework and encourages you to educate yourself.
Okay.
So you're empowered to make those decisions about your financial future.
I appreciate that. This is all really insightful. I'm already feeling like I have a better grasp of how to approach this whole idea of financial freedom. What else does this book have in store for us?
Well, beyond those core strategies, financial freedom dives into a ton of practical tips
Okay.
and mindset shifts
Right.
that can make a huge difference on this journey. And that's what we'll explore next. So one of the biggest mindset shifts the book encourages is around saving. It challenges this idea that saving means you have to sacrifice all the fun stuff in life.
That's a relief to hear. I was worried this was going to be all about, living on rice and beans for the next decade to reach financial freedom.
Not at all. Financial freedom introduces a different approach to budgeting. It focuses on your 3 biggest expenses:
Okay.
housing, transportation, and food.
Makes sense. Those are usually the biggest chunks of anyone's budget. What does the book suggest we do about those?
It encourages you to find creative ways to minimize those costs without sacrificing your quality of life.
Mhm.
For example, it talks about house hacking.
House hacking. I've heard the term, but I'll admit it's always sounded a bit mysterious to me. What exactly does it entail?
It's a pretty clever strategy for reducing or even eliminating your housing expenses.
Mm.
Essentially involves buying a multi-unit property
Okay.
and renting out the extra space to offset your mortgage payments.
So instead of being a renter, I become a landlord, using my tenant's rent to pay my own housing costs.
Exactly. And the book offers, different variations on this theme.
Okay.
You could rent out rooms in your house. You could convert a basement or a garage into a separate apartment, or even buy a duplex or triplex.
That's a pretty cool way to turn your biggest expense into an asset.
Hmm.
And I've heard that in some cases, house hacking can actually generate more income than your mortgage payments,
Right.
essentially giving you free housing.
It's definitely possible, especially if you're strategic about the property you choose and how you manage it. The book goes into detail about different house hacking strategies and provides real-life examples of people who have used it successfully.
This is making me rethink my whole approach to housing. Okay, so we've covered house hacking. What about transportation? That's another expense that can really eat into your budget.
Financial freedom takes a pretty strong stance on transportation.
Okay.
Advocating for walking or biking as your primary mode of transportation whenever possible.
I can already hear some listeners groaning, but I get it. Less gas, less wear and tear on your car, and you get some exercise in. Plus, it's good for the environment. But realistically, for a lot of people, walking or biking everywhere just isn't feasible.
Of course, the book acknowledges that. It's about finding a balance that works for your lifestyle. If you need a car, the advice is to buy used instead of new. Avoid that massive depreciation hit. Save a ton of money.
That's a classic money-saving tip. And let's face it, used cars these days are often in really good condition. But what if you need to travel longer distances? Does the book have any advice for those situations?
You bet. It has a whole section on what it calls travel hacking,
Okay.
which is all about using points, miles, and rewards programs to travel for much less.
Travel hacking.
Yeah.
Now, that's something I'm interested in. I've tried it a little bit, but it can be a bit overwhelming trying to keep track of all the different programs and rewards.
I agree. It can be a lot to juggle. But the book really breaks down the process. It explains the different types of programs, offers strategies for earning points quickly, and gives tips on redeeming those points for flights, hotels, and other travel expenses.
Maybe this book can help me finally become a travel hacking master. Okay, so we've covered housing, transportation, and travel. What about food? Food costs can really add up, especially if you're someone who, like me, loves to eat out.
Financial freedom emphasizes cooking at home as the most cost-effective way to eat. It suggests exploring local farmers markets and buying in bulk to save money on groceries. And of course, it recommends cutting back on those expensive restaurant meals and takeout orders.
I knew that was coming.
Hmm.
I'm definitely guilty of overspending on eating out. Maybe I need to get better at meal planning and cooking at home. But sometimes after a long day, the convenience of takeout is just, I don't know, too tempting. Does the book offer any strategies for resisting that temptation?
One of the things the book talks about is the per-use cost of purchases.
Yep.
For example, that $20 takeout meal might seem like a small indulgence.
Right.
But if you think about how many hours you had to work to earn that $20, it suddenly feels a lot more expensive.
That's a great point. It's not just about the dollar amount. It's about the time and effort you invested to earn that money. It's about valuing your time as much as your money.
Exactly. And when you start thinking that way, it can really change your perspective on spending. The book also recommends asking yourself a series of questions before making any purchase. Questions like, do I really need this? Is there a cheaper alternative? Could I use this money for something more meaningful in the long run?
Those are all really good questions to consider. It's about making conscious spending choices that align with your values and your financial goals.
Right. And beyond these practical tips, the book delves into those crucial mindset shifts we mentioned earlier.
Yes, let's talk more about those mindset shifts. I'm a firm believer that your mindset is just as important as your actions when it comes to achieving your goals.
Absolutely. One of the most important mindset shifts the book encourages is to challenge that traditional work for decades then retire mentality.
It's about recognizing that you have more control over your life and your timeline than you might think. You don't have to wait till you're 65 to start living the life you want.
Exactly. And another key mindset shift is viewing saving not as a sacrifice, but as an opportunity.
I love that reframing. It's not about denying yourself. It's about investing in your future freedom and happiness. It's about delaying gratification for something even better down the road.
Right. And financial freedom encourages you to embrace what it calls an enterprise mindset in all areas of your life, always looking for ways to maximize the value of your time and your money. It's about being resourceful, creative, and constantly seeking out opportunities to improve your financial situation.
That's a powerful way to approach life. But for a lot of people, the hardest part is actually, saying no to things that don't align with their financial goals.
It's definitely a skill that takes practice. The book emphasizes that saying no is a form of self-care. It's about prioritizing your long-term goals and protecting your financial well-being. It's about setting boundaries and making conscious choices that align with your values.
I'm definitely going to work on my no muscles.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got our mindset in check. We're saving smarter, and we're looking at ways to increase our income. What's the next step on the path to financial freedom?
Now it's time to dive into maximizing your earning potential, both at your 9 to 5 and through your side hustle.
Okay, let's talk about getting that money. What are some of the key takeaways from financial freedom when it comes to boosting your income?
It starts with happing your 9 to 5, which again is not about doing anything shady or unethical.
Right.
It's about understanding your worth and advocating for yourself.
So it's about being strategic and proactive in your career. It's about taking control of your professional growth and making sure you're being compensated fairly for your contributions.
Exactly. The book provides some really practical advice on researching your market value,
Okay.
calculating your worth to your company, and negotiating a raise that reflects your skills and experience.
Those are essential skills for anyone who wants to get ahead in their career, regardless of their financial goals. But I think a lot of people feel, I don't know, uncomfortable negotiating for themselves.
I understand that. But financial freedom helps you reframe negotiation as a collaboration.
Okay.
It's about showing your employer the value you bring to the table and finding a mutually beneficial agreement. The book provides scripts and strategies to help you feel more confident and prepared when asking for what you deserve.
That's really helpful. And beyond negotiating a raise, are there other ways to hack your 9 to 5?
The book stresses the importance of continuously developing your skills and seeking out opportunities for growth within your company. This might involve taking on new responsibilities, volunteering for challenging projects, or pursuing professional development opportunities.
So it's not just about asking for more money. It's about becoming more valuable to your employer and positioning yourself for advancement.
Exactly. And the book provides specific strategies for identifying growth opportunities within your current role, showcasing your achievements, and building strong relationships with your colleagues and supervisors.
That's really valuable advice. Now let's shift gears and talk about those side hustles. You mentioned that financial freedom provides a framework for identifying profitable opportunities, pricing your services, and scaling your business. Can you tell us more about that?
Absolutely. The book emphasizes that side hustles aren't just about making extra cash.
Right.
They're about building valuable skills, expanding your network, and gaining experience that can benefit you in all areas of your life.
That's a great point. It's about taking ownership of your career and creating multiple streams of income, which can provide financial security and flexibility. But with so many side hustle options out there, how do you even know where to begin?
Financial freedom guides you through a process of identifying your skills, passions, and interests,
Okay.
and then matching those with potential side hustle opportunities. It encourages you to research market demand, analyze your competition, and develop a unique selling proposition that sets you apart.
So it's about finding a niche where you can offer something valuable and building a business around that.
Exactly. And the book provides practical advice on setting up your side hustle, managing your time effectively, and marketing your services. It also encourages you to track your income and expenses carefully and to reinvest your profits back into your business to help it grow.
This is all incredibly helpful. I'm starting to feel like I have a much clearer understanding of how to approach side hustles strategically. Now, let's talk about the final piece of the puzzle, investing. You mentioned that financial freedom advocates for a balanced and diversified approach to investing, including stocks, bonds, and real estate. Can you elaborate on that?
Of course. The book provides a comprehensive overview of different investment options, explaining the risks and rewards associated with each. It emphasizes the importance of building a diversified portfolio that aligns with your risk tolerance and time horizon.
A balanced portfolio is essential for managing risk and maximizing returns over the long term.
Exactly. And financial freedom provides a clear explanation of different investment vehicles,
Mm.
including index funds, mutual funds, and ETFs. It also demystifies the world of bonds and real estate, explaining how these asset classes can contribute to a well-rounded portfolio.
Those terms can be really confusing for people who are new to investing. Does the book make them easy to understand?
It definitely does. It breaks down the jargon and explains the pros and cons of each investment option using simple language and real-world examples.
Mm,
It also stresses the importance of tax-advantaged accounts,
right.
like 401ks and IRAs, explaining how to maximize your contributions and minimize your tax liability.
Tax optimization is an essential part of maximizing your investment returns.
Absolutely. And financial freedom provides practical tips for minimizing your tax burden and ensuring that you're taking advantage of all available deductions and credits. It also emphasizes the importance of regularly reviewing your investment strategy and making adjustments as needed based on your financial goals and changing market conditions.
This is all incredibly insightful. I'm feeling much more confident about approaching investing and building a solid financial foundation. But what about those who might be feeling, I don't know, overwhelmed by all this information? I mean, we've covered a lot of ground here, and it can be a lot to absorb.
That's understandable. Financial planning can feel daunting, especially if you're starting from scratch. But financial freedom emphasizes that it's a journey, not a race.
Right.
It's about taking small steps consistently and gradually building your knowledge and expertise.
It's about progress, not perfection.
Yeah.
And it's about celebrating the small wins along the way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the book provides a ton of resources to support you on this journey, including worksheets, calculators, and links to additional information. It also encourages you to find a financial advisor or mentor who can provide personalized guidance and support.
It's all about building a network of resources and knowledge to help you navigate the complexities of financial planning.
Right. And ultimately, financial freedom encourages you to embrace a mindset of abundance and possibility.
It's about believing that financial freedom is attainable for anyone who's willing to put in the effort and make smart choices. It's about envisioning the life you want and taking concrete steps to make it a reality.
Exactly. And it's about recognizing that financial freedom is not just about money.
Right.
It's about having the time and resources to live a life that aligns with your values and passions.
It's about creating a life of purpose, meaning, and fulfillment, where money is a tool to support those aspirations rather than the driving force.
You nailed it. And financial freedom provides some really inspiring examples of people who have achieved this level of freedom and are living their dream lives.
Those stories are so powerful. They show that it's possible to break free from the traditional script and create a life that truly reflects who you are and what you want to achieve. This has been an incredibly insightful deep dive into financial freedom. I'm feeling inspired and motivated to take action and start building my own path to financial independence. But before we wrap up, I'm curious to hear more about those real-life success stories. Can you share some highlights?
Absolutely. The book is full of stories about regular people who achieve financial freedom using the strategies we've been discussing. For example, there's Anita who retired at 33. She was a successful lawyer, but felt burnt out and unfulfilled.
33. Wow, that's impressive.
Right. She followed the book's advice, saved aggressively, invested wisely, and was able to walk away from her demanding job to pursue her passions.
It really shows that you don't have to be stuck in a career that's not right for you, even if it's considered successful by, traditional standards.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's also Justin, who worked as a civil engineer for 10 years. He started investing early in his career, consistently contributing to his retirement accounts and making those smart financial choices we talked about.
So he was basically front-loading his efforts, setting himself up for success down the road.
Exactly. And like Anita, he was able to reach financial independence long before the typical retirement age.
These stories are so inspiring. It's like they're saying, hey, you can do this too.
That's the point the book drives home. And there's one more story that really resonated with me. It's about Brandon, a web developer, who from his very first job prioritized saving and investing. He and his wife were able to achieve financial independence in their early 30s by living below their means and staying focused on their goals.
It's amazing to see how even, small, consistent actions can lead to big results over time.
Yeah.
But what did these folks do with all their newfound freedom? I mean, it's not like they just sit around all day counting their money, right?
Not at all. That's what's so great about financial freedom. It gives you the time and resources to create a life that truly aligns with your values and passion.
So it's not just about escaping the 9 to 5. It's about embracing a life of, purpose and fulfillment.
Precisely. For some people, it might be traveling the world. For others, it might be starting a business, pursuing a creative passion, or simply spending more time with loved ones. It's all about designing a life that brings you joy and makes you feel truly alive.
It's like unlocking a whole new level of life. But before we get too caught up in daydreams of early retirement, what's one key takeaway from financial freedom that our listeners can put into practice, right now?
Well, the book introduces a concept called the future optimization framework, which is essentially a set of daily, weekly, monthly, and annual habits designed to keep you focused on your financial goals.
Okay, that sounds intriguing. Can you break it down for us? What are some of those habits?
The book suggests starting each day by reviewing your financial goals and visualizing your ideal future. It's about reminding yourself why you're on this journey and keeping that motivation alive.
So it's about setting the intention for the day and aligning your actions with your long-term vision.
Exactly. The book also recommends dedicating a few minutes each day to tracking your expenses and identifying areas where you can save even small amounts.
It's about being mindful of your spending habits and making, conscious choices.
Right. On a weekly basis, the book suggests reviewing your overall income and expenses, checking your investments, and making any necessary adjustments to your budget or savings plan.
So it's about staying engaged with your finances and making sure you're on track to reach your goals, not just setting it and forgetting it.
Exactly. Then, on a monthly basis, the book recommends taking an even deeper dive into your financial situation. This involves calculating your net worth, analyzing your cash flow, and making a conscious effort to increase your savings rate, even if it's just by 1%.
Those are all great habits to cultivate. It's like a financial fitness routine for your money.
Yeah.
But what about people who need a little extra help or guidance along the way? Not everyone feels comfortable managing their own finances or making investment decisions.
That's a valid point, and financial freedom addresses that. The book really emphasizes the importance of community and collaboration.
Okay.
It encourages you to connect with others who are on a similar journey, share your experiences, and learn from each other's successes and challenges.
It's like having a financial freedom support system,
Yeah.
sharing tips and
Mhm.
strategies, celebrating wins together, and offering encouragement when things get tough.
Exactly. The book even suggests finding mentors or financial advisors who can provide more personalized guidance. It's all about building a network of support and knowledge to help you navigate this journey.
This deep dive into financial freedom has been amazing. We've uncovered so many valuable insights and practical strategies for um, achieving financial independence. I'm personally feeling inspired and motivated to start applying these principles in my own life.
It's been a pleasure exploring these ideas with you. I hope our listeners feel empowered to take control of their financial future and design a life that aligns with their dreams.
Absolutely. And remember, it's not about deprivation or sacrificing the things you love. It's about making conscious choices that create a life you're excited to wake up to every day.
As we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final thought-provoking question. What is one small step you can take today to start moving towards your own financial freedom?
That's a great question to ponder. It could be anything from creating a budget to starting a side hustle to researching different investment options. Every step, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goals.
And remember, you don't have to do it alone. There are tons of resources and communities out there to support you on your journey. Financial freedom is within reach for anyone who's willing to put in the effort and embrace a new way of thinking.
Thank you for joining us on The Deep Dive. We hope this episode has inspired you to take charge of your financial future and create a life of freedom and possibility.